Sup, my dudes? Rain, rain, go away. That's what all my haters say. All right, first thing I wanted to point out here, just had to point this out. As you can see, we have 3 different weather options, weather condition options here, okay? We have clear, wrong thumbstick, Spency boy. We have clear, rainy, and wet track mode. So if you don't remember, MXGP 2020 that just came out had no wet track mode. They had it in the games and like MXGP Pro and all that. You had the standard, clear, rainy, wet track, and the wet track's where you can go in there and have it like where it's not literal rain falling, but it's kind of like a wet practice or like after it's rained. It's like a cool thing that they've had in the games for a while now, but they just stripped it out of MXGP 2020 for no reason. It's just not in that game at all for no apparent reason whatsoever. I'm kind of surprised there's no random option here. There was even a random option back in MXGP 2020. You had or I said MXGP, I meant MXGP Pro, right? Good God, they've made so many games at this point, I get confused. All the way back in MXGP Pro, you had clear, rainy, wet track, and random. You could actually set it to random to where you didn't know what it was going to pick, and it just picked something. But at least they brought back the wet track mode, okay? But let's test out this rainy mode on one of these 5,000 different Salt Lake City tracks here. All right. Do a little bit of that action, a little bit of that action. A little bit of Tomac, a little Tomac. Okay. Just wanted to test it out in the game here for you boys. It's my first time ever riding with the rain mode in the game. Of course, every track could be a little bit different. So, let me get the ghost off here. Whoa. Easy there, autopilot. I can't even trust the autopilot. Okay. All right, interesting. Now, one thing I do want to say about this game is there is not a whole lot of wheel spin at all in this game. Like, they have definitely cut back big time on the sliding out and the wheel spin. I know a lot of people have been getting kind of frustrated with that in these in these milestone games. It was definitely too extreme, like back in MXGP Pro and some of those games. I'm starting to kind of get the inclination they might have went a little too far with that, because you just never, you're just not going to hit, you're not going to slide out from hitting the throttle too hard. Like, you're not going to do it. If you slide out, it's because you got on the brakes too hard or something else. You're not going to slide out from just getting on the gas too hard. And then I slide out. But really, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, how that wasn't from sliding out from getting on the throttle too hard. That was sliding out from me slamming on the brakes, right? And I slide from hitting the brakes. You see what I'm saying? Your ass starts to slide from hitting the brakes. It don't slide from hitting the gas. You're not going to slide just from hitting the gas, like raw, just hit the gas. And by the way, I'm in the fucking mud mode as well. I'm in the rain on top of all that, okay? So you could just imagine it's going to be even less sliding than this when you get on a normal dirt track. But that was kind of the point I was trying to make here is, that's something with these milestone games ever since they started the rain mode, is the fact that it's never felt quite slick enough to me. It's never felt quite greasy enough to me. Hit that shit so greasily. Okay? You know what I'm saying? It's not really replicated real life slick mud in that. It always has just felt like deep mud to me, more so than slick mud in the game. And I think it just kind of makes that aspect a little bit even more so. Doesn't feel like slick mud, when the fact that this game has even less sliding effect than any other milestone game. Maybe not than any other milestone game, but certainly less than we've had for a while now, right? So it's an interesting combination here. But yeah, like you're not really going to feel like you're actually on slick mud. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. Like, if you've ever rode in real slick mud in real life, this is not really that kind of feeling. It's just not, like, straight up. It's cool Go ahead and still kind of hit some of the jumps. Man, I'm having to get used to this more leaning forward and backwards mechanic that you have here on Supercross 4 here. Really love that that's in this game. It allows you to actually potentially crash by flipping over the front. You know, you saw me do it there in the whoops because I kind of let my thumb off the thumbstick. So you gotta be a little more savvy with your leaning forward and backwards in this game, more than you ever have in any other Milestone game ever before. There is no doubt about that. Okay, here we are on a different track here. This is a California vibe muddy track. Oh man, you gotta be on the beans when you got this mud vibe going here. This one's cool though. This track looks totally different. This one's got a lot more mud puddles than that other one was. Actual standing water puddles than the other track had. Seems like it's raining more on the screen as well. Interesting. I do like that little effect. That is cool. Let me do a little realism going here, boys. Little mud on the screen. Little mud on the screen. My first time ever in first person. Oh, she's a little different. All right. Stand by. Hold the phone. Spency boy needs some tear-offs. Oh, yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. Just letting that 4 fatty eat. Let's get back to the normal camera. So that's the more zoomed out. Is that the default? I think this is the default. Ooh, look at all this shit. Oh, damn. Did they actually change like the faces of the jumps and stuff for the mud versions? To where it's like, seems like the jumps are a little bit easier than they would be on the normal version of the track. That may just be my mind kind of tricking itself. I don't know. But this is pretty legit right here. The only real thing I have to say though is it's just not that slick mud vibe, you know? It's just deep mud. It ain't slick mud. And you ain't gonna like slick slide out. You're just not going to have that kind of vibe with it at all. So that's just something. And that's the way it's basically been with all these Milestone games. Let's just keep it real. That's basically the way all of them have been. But certainly in this game, it definitely is like that. Little bit of terrain deformation. I noticed just a little bit on the other track we was on. Of course, in the mud mode, the terrain deformation is going to be different than it would be standardly. You gotta definitely hit this shit right, or you're pretty much like stuck. You can't really go very fast. Does look like the whoops are a little bit more amped up than they normally would be in these Milestone games. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool. You can feel the actual shock of the suspension hitting every whoop. You can kind of feel it a little more particularly than you would any previous Milestone game. That is pretty cool, brother. So either way, that is the mud mode to MXGP Supercross 4. Okay. God, dude, I swear, what are we on? Like Milestone Dirt Bike game number 35? I don't even know at this point. Damn, that's going to be a huck, tripling that. I'm going to have to learn my shit a little more to really hoss it on these mud tracks. You're going to have to be like, I don't even know if you could triple that right there. Might have to just do a little double-double vibe on that. Cool how this track turned like totally gray. You know, totally gray dirt vibe. Damn, you got to be wide open everywhere on that to do a triple there.